revolving doors were meant for malls, not prisons. And if that's the case, then why are there so many repeat offenders in jail? We all are affected by crime, either directly or indirectly. And initially, the easy solution seems to put the offender behind bars. But what happens when that person is released? Most of the time, they find themselves right back in jail. With the proper rehabilitation, we can end this cycle. I have researched recidivism, and I understand the impact that it has on society. Recidivism is a significant social problem that requires evidence-based programs in order to decrease its occurrence. I will discuss the incidents as well as the significance of recidivism, as well as the solutions to this issue. Now, recidivism is a social problem that does affect our community. According to the Pew Center study, from 1973 to 2009, prison populations grew 705%. Also, federal spending on corrections is up 305% in the past 20 years. Now, these statistics are alarming. The Bureau of Justice Statistics conducted a study in 1994 on inmates that were released from jail, and 52% were back in jail within 3 years. With that being said, almost half of the men and women that were released from jail were back in jail for recommitting another crime. The scary fact is that only records the ones that were locked up. We don't know how many got away with crimes that didn't get locked up. The Pew Center study also showed that in the state of Virginia, 28.3% was the recidivism rate between 2004 and 2007. So Virginia's rate is a little lower than the national average. The Encyclopedia Britannica defines the purpose of imprisonment as a deterrence or a punishment and a personal reform. Now, I can see imprisonment being a deterrence or a punishment. However, it falls short as a personal reform, as we can see by the increase in recidivism rates. The Pew Center study states that lower recidivism rates can result from implementing rehabilitation programs. Now, the state of Oregon had a 32% decrease in its recidivism rate due to the rehabilitation program that they implemented in jail. The state of Michigan was spending $1.6 billion a year in corrections, which was evidence that it had a problem with its corrections. Its solution was to form the Michigan Prisoner Reentry Initiative. And what that did was it helped transition inmates into meaningful members of society. It gave them tools such as jobs, transportation, counseling, and other things to make this transition easy for them. Now, the text that we study from, Dr. Alvin states, God values our compassion for others. The Bible shows compassion for prisoners in 2 Chronicles, the 28th chapter, and the 15th verse states that, then the 4 men came forward and distributed clothes from the plunder to the prisoners who were naked, gave them enough food and enough drink. Another incident of compassion for prisoners in the Bible comes from the book of Matthew, the 25th chapter, the 31st through the 46th verses speaks of the final judgments. In the 36th verse it states, I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you cared for me. I was in prison and you visited me. These are all values of compassion that God wants us to hold. Recidivism is a social problem that affects the community and the economy. It is important that rehabilitate offenders with evidence-based programs that will help transition them into society. And the community must show compassion to prisoners and to help them, because this is what God expects of us. Thank you.